This is Michelle.
Hello, and welcome to our show.
Hi, thank you. Sweet.
Okay. Why was it important to you to be part of this documentary, Stunt Women, as both producer and narrator?
Well, I think the beauty of it is watching kind of the struggle, in one sense, to be heard, just to be allowed to be. You know, there are many physical women in the world, you know, women who've taken a liking to either directing action or being involved in, you know, riding horses or jumping off of buildings. There are female Olympians in the world. They've existed for a very long time. And it's just interesting how Hollywood started with this really prominent presence of female directors and action stars. And then all of a sudden, once, you know, the boys came back from war and realized there was money in it and that it was actually, you know, a really great business. And suddenly they get pushed out. And still today, a lot of women are struggling to, you know, just to be allowed to be a part of the wonderful filmmaking process. And so I wanted to kind of explore that. And I was really, really happy when the producers came over to me and asked me to join in and be a part of this storytelling. Because I don't think a lot of people know about all the wonderful women, you know, who've kind of, you know, pioneered for us to have the abilities we do today, where it's a lot more equal than it ever was before. That's for sure.
Now, the statement is made in the documentary that there's no problem filling movies with naked women, but that stunt women are an entirely different story. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, the thing is about it comes down to brotherhood and teamwork. You know, everything in the United States and mostly around the world is a patriarchal-based system where, you know, people create organizations, they unite with each other, they gather in communities, and they teach each other how to, you know, become better citizens, how to improve society, and they also have these types of systems for every single different type of job description. You know, for business, it's smoke, you know, rooms with cigar clubs and golf, you know, memberships. You know, a lot of the women have been, you know, relegated to these positions of mommy homemaker for a very long time. And when you have the pressure of a dominating, you know, a group, which is male, telling you where you belong and guiding the process, it's really, really hard to get your foot in, you know, once they're heading the show. And I think it's all about perception. If women get together, which they have throughout the years, and started uniting with each other and creating their own organizations, eventually, you know, you start to see that change. And it has little by little throughout time as the women started to realize we can't compete against each other. We have to unite. And it's hard because, you know, it has to be competitive when you're only allowed like 3 slots for women to be involved in the filmmaking process. You know, it's competitive. So you have to compete against the very few women that there are in the stunt world. And I think slowly in this generation, a lot of the women have started to realize we can't be competing against each other anymore. We have to unite and push each other. And whoever's better at this one thing needs to take the lead on that one thing. And eventually they start learning their own sisterhood and they organize and they unite. And then the boys, you know, they respect that. But yeah, it's been tough. And that's what the documentary is about.
Yeah. And speaking about the boys, what about the struggle of these women for equal rights in the profession, including so-called waking the guys as women so they can take away work from them?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You know, the thing is that if you're part of a group, right, and that group gets the most work, you know, whether it's a stunt association run by men, For minorities, it's even worse. But, then that head of that organization, if the movement right now is female empowerment in the industry, and a bunch of the jobs that are going up for grabs have lots of female protagonist actresses leading the way, you're going to get a lot of the men are going to be leading that process because they are the coordinators. So it all depends on the open-mindedness, the interest, and the care for those men wanting to guide, a lot of these women into what's coming right now. Because after Wonder Woman, it was evident that half of the world is thirsty. That feminine side of the planet is thirsty for Hollywood feature films which empower women. It was evident. Then they're like, oh, wait a minute, there's money in this? You mean people actually like this stuff? And guys will actually go too with their girlfriends and their kids? This is awesome. But now it's about the discovery of that. Now you have to, now it's a demand. And so a lot of women are getting work, but at the same time, it's still outnumbered by men. And for a lot of the tough stuff where women haven't been seasoned enough in certain fields of operation, there are going to be men with wigs handling that. And it's just really about presence. And I think as the demand, grows, I think that eventually the men who are in charge will open their hearts and minds to training more women.
Now, I wanted to ask you your controversial portrayal of Frank Kitchen, that character in Walter Hill's The Assignment, was stunning and groundbreaking. And that year, our Women Film Critics Circle gave our Courage in Acting Award to you.
No way!
What can you say about the challenges for you of transforming into Frank Kitchen?
That's so interesting. I always thought, I'm bisexual, and I've always, in my mind, thought to myself that every man and every woman comes from both their father and their mother, and the genes get split, and you're sharing from your father and you're sharing from your mother and all the generations from before. And I've always believed that, the beauty of being a human is the discovery of the other side, whatever you predominate in. If you're a woman who's more manly, then it's the discovery of gentleness, and the femininity that you may be lacking as a woman. As a man, if you're super macho, you get married to a wonderful woman who you're in love with, and she teaches you tenderness, and she teaches you the nurturing side of things. And you might be able to open up and get closer to your mother's side of things. And so I believe everything's in alchemical balance, in a human. And I thought that, it doesn't matter how B-movie, Walter Hill gets. It's an interesting concept, and I fell in love with it. So I said to myself, why not play with this image? Because I felt like through my entire career, I had been, over-masculinized. And I did that to myself because, I came from poverty, from Jersey City, and I realized that's the only way that the boys don't mess with you and you can keep yourself safe, is by protecting yourself and being a tomboy. So I thought I'd take that whole concept to an extreme and play Frank Kitchen on screen.
And you once said, quote, I had a couple of offers to do some hot scenes in the shower with some guy and to make it real hot and sexy. The next thing you'd know, I'd be the next J-Lo or something like that. But that's easy. I want the hard way. Please elaborate.
Well, the thing is that's what people expect of you. People expect the image of the standard Latina, this really hyper-feminized woman who is, all about finding the right guy in life, getting married, or being a powerhouse and really dominating the Cleopatra side of things. I've always believed there's three types of women. There's that ultimate pure Madonna mother, not Madonna, but the mother, the pure, wonderful woman who would dedicate anything in her love for her children, and she'll even sacrifice herself in the name of it. She's the purest form of the woman. That's the one you marry. Then you got the warrior princess, which is your like Diana, your Artemis, your the woman who will stand up for whatever she believes in and not let anybody take her down. And then you have your Cleopatra. And that Cleopatra is the most, I think, exploited aspect of feminine, especially in the Latina community, that there is. You see it in the hip-hop videos. You see her, everywhere. It's this hypersexualized image of a woman using her beauty as a tool. And I've always been aware that everything in this world fades, including beauty. And I didn't want to make my career rely on something fleeting. So I decided to take the harder route. There aren't that many people who do the tomboy action movie thing. Now it's becoming popular, but it wasn't when I first got into the business. So I think that's why I said what I said.
And getting back to stunt women, what about the racism and what you've experienced as a woman of color yourself in the film world? And it was really refreshing to hear about the Black Stuntmen Association, the only one to take in the women as well from the beginning, because as African Americans, they got it. They understood female discrimination.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the African American movement and the female empowerment movement have always been holding hands through the ages of civil rights in this country. I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon. It's about empathy, and it's about love, and it's about understanding. And I think that the Black community and the female community in America and the minorities in general all relate to each other. The LGBT community. It's just really about not being seen as human or less than, and not being allowed into any clubs. And if the clubs rule everything and you're not allowed into the clubs, then, how do you ever express yourself as a human in this country or even in the world? And so I love that bond exists. It's a beautiful one. And I think it's gone really far since the 60s.
And what would you want, or what do you want audiences to know and understand about stunt women with this movie?
I just want them to see that this has been going on for a very long time, and that just pull back a little bit and look at all the Olympic athletes in the world, and look at all of the things that women have achieved. Going out into space, going deep into the ocean. Like let's stop the stereotypes for a second and give people a chance. The fear is always, we're well seasoned and we've trained and we've been part of this community for such a long time. We don't have time for new people and we need to do this right. And it's about love. It's about training. It's about acceptance. And so the more you let in, the closer you are into the future, because the future is not black or white. It's mixed. It's a very growing population. The world is growing, and as the movie industry, I think, is starting to realize that the grand majority of the people on this planet are not Caucasian. They're actually Asian, and the other portion is brown. And then we have this small minority kind of, that rule the imagination of the world, and that's Hollywood. And so, this fight for diversity in Hollywood isn't an American fight. It's a global one, because there is no other industry on the planet that penetrates different markets the way that Hollywood does. So why not take that wonderful tool and let people feel seen? Disney does a wonderful job at this, and I think it's time for the rest of the studios in the industry to kind of pay attention and start including women and start including minority groups, or otherwise considered minority groups, because the fact is they're not minority groups. They actually are the majority group. Asians and Indians and, brown people in general.
And I think we have time for one last question. The movies you're coming up in, what can you say about them? F9 with Charlize Theron, Vin Diesel, and Helen Mirren, and Dreamland with Gary Oldman.
Oh, yeah, Dreamland's about the opioid crisis. I really hope people wake up to the fact that it's a really, really big problem. It's even actually gotten worse after COVID-19. And, you know, to raise awareness, I had my godson pass away from an overdose of that fentanyl. It really hit me hard. So I decided to do a cameo in my buddy's movie about it, hopefully to raise awareness. And Fast 9, it should be good, you know. Fought really hard to get a female writer on board, and I think that this film will do some justice to a lot of the female characters that in the past haven't gotten much airtime. So hopefully they'll shine in this one, and people will enjoy it. But it got postponed till next year because of COVID.
And what are you up to in F9?
Oh, well, you know, saving the world. That's what fast movies are, you know.
And I wanted to ask you, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New Jersey. I'm here to visit my family.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle Rodriguez, for calling into our show.
Oh, thanks, Perry, for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, and I will get the word out about stunt women.
Right on. Please do. That'd be great.
Okay, bye.
Lots of love. Bye.